head women's soccer coach Corey Boyd from Tennessee Tech. Coach, uh, just continue to win conference championships at Tennessee Tech. So the big question is, what do you expect from your team this season?
Well, hopefully the same return. I mean, it's all about hard work and putting in the time and continually chipping away at becoming better every day, with an emphasis in this non-conference season to sharpen us up for the conference.
Okay. Now, what are some of the team strengths you have, and what do you like most about the squad?
I like our experience this year. I was looking through the roster and got a lot of returners with experience, and we had some injuries last year, and some of those players had sat out the spring and got a different perspective, I think, on the program and had to watch from the outside and I think we're eager to come back. So, getting those players back has added a whole other strength to our team, that I think will that experience is immeasurable. Players that know what our program's about, but also what the OVC is about, what the college experience is about, and what we're asking on a daily basis. It's a hard change for freshmen to come from a club setting or high school setting and jump straight in and do to understand the shift to college sport, but also to understanding being asked of the individual within the program. Every program does things a little bit differently, and what makes people unique and programs unique, and so it's a learning curve. But we have a lot of good returners, but then we have 9 freshmen that we've added. We added a transfer as well, and so it's a really good mix. What I wanted to do, my kind of overall vision was to immediately raise the floor of the team. So I felt like our ceiling was good, but I wanted to raise the bottom end of our roster and make it really competitive. And I think our team, top to bottom, our captains were talking about it right away. They're like, "Man, this team's good this year." So all the way through making it really competitive in training, and we have a roster of 28, so we have the numbers. Last year we had some significant injuries, and we had about 18 players available by end of season after a tough non-conference schedule, and so we changed a few things, and so we're pretty excited.
Okay. You talk about this big core of returners coming back, some key players in there. So, who are some of those players that you're looking to be a big impact this year, and maybe even someone who is a good player to watch? Someone that might be considered under the radar that you're hoping to see
Of
a
course.
lot from this year.
Yeah, start with Katie Tony. I mean, she's was forward of the year before last, season before last, and last year it was right up there again, knocking on the door for forward of the year. And she's just an all-action player. She's a two-way player, and leads by example all the time. Just a great captain, great kid, and understands what it takes to be successful in this program, but also in the league. So Katie Maggie Conrad's just a level-headed goalkeeper with a lot of experience, and is just had a great year, last year, and she looks really strong again, and is a huge maturity aspect to goalkeeping, and that's really necessary and with the way we want to play. So, and then Lucia Quadra, who we added last year, was a junior college All-American, and then was a Division II transfer. She ended up being first team all conference and led the league in assists. So she's back again. Allie Lee. Allie's probably sharper than ever. Um, Tough kid, just a box to box midfielder, a true anchor kind of in midfield for us. And then, the returners that I kind of mentioned a minute ago, Claire Palia, another center back coming back with a lot of experience. Abba Mellon. Um, they kind of lead our back line. Abigail Davis is back. Tori Satuyo, who's been really sharp, had a good summer. I think trained really hard this summer with her summer league team and had a good experience there. And then Melina Ham's back from injury as well. So there's a good core group of experience there, and then we added I'm gonna butcher her name because I'm not Icelandic, but we added Krista Ik Hardadottir. I even called her beforehand. I said, Krista, help me with this name here. So we added her from Tennessee Wesleyan NAI program, and she scored 27 goals last year and had 24 the year before and 23. And she had a lot of experience. She's a 24-year-old kid with a nose for goal, and we wanted that in our team just to understand. And obviously, it's a bit of a shift, and going from one program to another. So it'll take some time to adapt, but with that experience that she's already had, hopefully it paves the way. And then, as I said, there's 9 freshmen with a pretty good upside. I think are going to be really good in the next few years.
Right. Well, Coach, you've been with the program for numerous years, but this is your second year as the head coach. What are some of the things that you installed, and what is kind of your mission statement for your program?
Yeah, one is just being a good person, just trying to be good people first, who want to work hard, who want to do well in school, and then train hard. We want to be comfortable in possession, and we want to be, this team that has an attacking intent and likes to get at teams, but really it's just about the this is the buzzword around college sports is culture. And I think spring we spent a lot of emphasis on the culture of our team and how important that is, and doing things here differently than somewhere else, that we build this security net where everybody's on the same page. I like to say I'm firm but fair. And I'll give it to you straight. There's no secrets. It's blunt, and it's this is the way it is. And if you want these things, okay, then you're going to have to work for them or adapt. And these things, what you accept, you allow, and certain things I can't accept, for a program that has aspirations of being continually successful. In the end, we want to establish success. We've had success, but I want that to grow. Our non-conference was record was not very good last year. I would like for that to change. And I would like for us to be good from start to finish. And that won't be easy with the teams we face right out the gate.
Well, talking about that, I mean, it was a very competitive schedule last year, but yet again, it's a very competitive schedule again this year. And obviously, it did set you up pretty good last year, even though uh, you weren't happy with the results of what the record was. But kind of talk a little bit about the schedule. You're even bringing Vanderbilt in this year, like you had St. Mary's, Columbia, a couple of strong play NCAA teams from the previous year come to your place last year. It's great to get people to come over to Cookeville, but what do you hope to achieve before entering OVC play with, again, another solid schedule?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there are many easy games in Division 1 anymore, to be honest. And you play Power 4 teams, and they're all pretty difficult, for many reasons. So Darren's a good friend of mine at Vanderbilt, and it just we've played them historically, a couple of years in the past, and had some decent results. And he we worked out where he would come here, which is a really unique thing. It's a really nice thing to have an SEC team, especially the season that they had the year before, last year. And having them on our home field, hopefully it's a really awesome atmosphere for our players, and hopefully it's a competitive game. Last year, we played Mississippi State on the road, and our team was figuring it out. I mean, I was figuring it out as a head coach. Our staff were getting them figured out, and it took us some time, but we had, it was 1-0 in the end, and we played really well. And I think it helped us kind of keep moving along the trajectory we were trying to make toward conference. And hopefully that's the case, and we have some teams that I think are pretty linear to our conference that we play towards, the middle part of our non-conference, that should hopefully prepare us well for all of the teams in our league. Um, But it's just one step at a time. It's a process.
Head coach Corey Boyd from Tennessee Tech, we wish you the best of luck this season.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate you.